In this video, let's take a deep dive into an alternate reality where Gojo has the ability to steal curse techniques. We're all already familiar with how insanely overpowered Gojo's techniques are, so how crazy would he get if he could also have other powerful curse techniques in his arsenal? Instead of simply seeing cursed energy with them, the Six Eyes possess one hidden function in this alternate world. By witnessing a curse technique at its absolute peak, Gojo can permanently engrave its blueprint into his own soul. The Six Eyes reduces every ability into mathematics, allowing Gojo to rebuild them as his own. The process is dangerous, requiring complete comprehension and enough cursed energy to stabilize the copied technique. Every stolen ability is permanently altered by Limitless, becoming a cleaner, faster, and more overwhelming version unique to Gojo. Before Gojo ever awakened as the strongest, he spent years watching Shoko perform reverse curse technique with fascination. While she healed others through instinct and experience, the Six Eyes quietly analyzed every microscopic movement of energy. Without realizing it, Gojo's brain had reconstructed those principles into a completely different ability called White Genesis. After Toji Fushiguro fatally wounded him, the near-death experience triggered that hidden blueprint. Instead of merely repairing damaged organs and broken bones, White Genesis flooded every cell in his body with positive energy, reversing destruction before it could fully settle. Torn muscles reconnected, blood loss reversed, and shattered tissue regenerated almost simultaneously, leaving virtually no weakness behind. Next, even though Toji possessed no curse technique for the Six Eyes to copy, Gojo still became obsessed with his fighting style. Every strike, dodge, and weapon swing followed flawless biomechanics, wasting neither movement nor strength. Fascinated, the Six Eyes began analyzing Toji's muscle coordination, reaction timing, and balance, as if they were techniques themselves, giving birth to Gojo's version called Perfect Motion. His body no longer relied on overwhelming cursed energy, but instead operated with mechanical precision, allowing every movement to flow into the next without hesitation. Teleportation through blue, explosive bursts from red, and Infinity's defense became seamlessly integrated into his martial arts. Gojo became a menace to fight with in close combat, since his combination red and blue coupled with Toji's martial arts techniques made him entirely unpredictable in battle. Gojo's final meeting with Geto was the heartbreaking end of their friendship, but in this alternate reality, it was also the moment that the Six Eyes finally analyzed and copied his curse technique. As the two strongest sorcerers stood on opposite sides of justice, the Six Eyes quietly dissected the mechanics behind curse spirit manipulation, understanding that the true technique was about preserving the essence of a curse and then controlling it. Since Gojo lacked Geto's ability to permanently absorb spirits, the copy technique evolved into something entirely different, called Void Spirit. Void Spirit allowed him to copy the abilities of defeated curses as temporary manifestations made entirely from his own cursed energy. Instead of releasing living curse spirits, translucent ghosts emerged from infinity, capable of reproducing a single signature ability before fading away. A ghost of Rainbow Dragon could deliver one devastating charge, while another spirit might unleash a brief cursed energy blast before dissolving into nothingness. Watching Sukuna effortlessly dismantle the Finger Bearer gave Gojo his first true glimpse into Shrine's terrifying simplicity. The Six Eyes ignored the slashing effect itself, and instead analyzed the distortion of cursed energy that allowed Sukuna to divide matter with absolute precision. Although Shrine remained uniquely tied to Sukuna, its underlying principles could still be understood. After countless calculations, Gojo developed a terrifying technique called Infinity Divide. It allowed him to create a compressed space until reality itself split along a chosen path. Anything or anyone present in this split simply glitched out of existence, as if reality had forgotten they exist. Sukuna's relentless barrage of slashes created fatal splits in physical matter, and Gojo took this splitting to the next level with Infinity Divide, learning to create rifts in reality itself. Gojo mainly used this technique to completely erase incoming attacks, but some unfortunate enemies also got to have a first-hand experience of Infinity Divide on themselves. Next up is Jogo, whose volcanic techniques fascinated Gojo because they proved cursed energy could be converted directly into overwhelming thermal force. During their battle, the Six Eyes meticulously observed every fluctuation in temperature, pressure, and cursed energy until the entire process became another mathematical equation waiting to be solved. Rather than copying Jogo's flames, Gojo reshaped the concept through Limitless, creating Blue Star Collapse. He compressed cursed energy into tiny spheres of impossible density, each behaving like a miniature dying star. Upon contact, these condensed points generated immense gravitational pressure that crushed everything within their radius before erupting into a burst of blinding heat. Buildings crumpled inward before melting, cursed spirits imploded before bursting, and even barriers warped under the sudden compression. The technique retained Jogo's devastating heat, but replaced the chaotic fiery eruptions with cosmic destruction, in typical Gojo fashion. Todo's Boogie Woogie initially seemed far too simple to interest Gojo, but the Six Eyes quickly recognized that its true brilliance lay in how effortlessly it manipulated space. Every clap revealed another layer of its underlying formula, allowing Gojo to map the relationship between cursed energy signatures and physical location. Once he fully understood the technique, it evolved into Absolute Exchange, a version that abandoned the clap entirely. By locking eyes on two targets, Gojo could instantly exchange their positions without any physical trigger, making the activation nearly impossible to anticipate. Unlike Todo, who was limited by timing and range, Gojo combined the technique with the limitless perception granted by the Six Eyes, allowing swaps at extraordinary speed and at much greater distances. An enemy charging toward him could suddenly find themselves directly in front of Hollow Purple, while allies could be rescued from fatal attacks before they even realized they were in danger. Every battlefield became another extension of Gojo's control over space itself. During the Kyoto Goodwill event, Gojo paid close attention to Noritoshi Kamo's mastery of blood manipulation, recognizing that its greatest weakness was the user's dependence on their own blood supply. The Six Eyes dissected every movement of cursed energy through Kamo's bloodstream, eventually separating the technique's principles from its biological limitations. Using reverse curse technique as an endless source of positive energy, Gojo created the ability without sacrificing a single drop of blood, giving birth to Crimson Infinity. Rather than shaping liquid blood into weapons, he condensed crimson-colored cursed energy into thin streams before accelerating them through blue. The result was a series of razor-sharp beams that traveled faster than any piercing attacks. Each strike carried enough force to slice through reinforced barriers, or sever curse techniques in mid-activation. By removing that physical cost entirely, Gojo transformed blood manipulation from a resource management technique into an inexhaustible barrage of precision attacks that only grew deadlier the longer the battle continued. Gojo's encounter with Chozo revealed just how incomplete Crimson Infinity had been. While Noritoshi demonstrated discipline, Chozo pushed blood manipulation to its absolute limits, compressing blood into unstable spheres that erupted with devastating force. Mahito's idle transfiguration consumed most of his attention, because it revealed that curse techniques were rooted in the shape of the soul itself. After countless mental simulations, Gojo finally decoded its underlying principles without inheriting Mahito's insanity. The result was Soul Equation, which gave Gojo perfect control over another person's soul for a brief moment. Gojo made microscopic adjustments to the soul's structure, disrupting the balance between a sorcerer's soul and their cursed energy. This allowed him to completely neutralize his opponents for a split second, which gave him more than enough time to strike back. Hakari's idle death gamble was unlike any technique Gojo had encountered, built around impossible probabilities and rewards that could never be replicated through skill alone. The Six Eyes quickly determined that the jackpot itself was not the true miracle. Hidden beneath the domain's theatrics was an endless circulating flow of cursed energy that sustained Hakari without interruption. Gojo discarded the element of chance and reconstructed only that principle, creating Infinite Circuit. Once activated, every stolen technique, every application of Limitless, and even reverse curse technique became part of a perfectly closed loop, where curse techniques could be combined and used one after the other. Hollow Purple could be followed by Infinity Divide, Absolute Exchange, Scarlet Singularity, and Soul Equation, in seamless succession without slowing his output. The technique did not grant infinite cursed energy like Hakari's jackpot, but it allowed Gojo to wield his ever-growing arsenal as though every ability belonged to a single, uninterrupted flow of power. It was almost like Gojo was bending the law of conservation of energy, simply by forcing it to bend to his will. By the final battle, Gojo no longer fights as the strongest Limitless user. Every major battle throughout his life has permanently expanded his arsenal, turning the Six Eyes into the greatest library of curse techniques ever assembled. Blue, Red, Infinity, Hollow Purple, Spatial Slashes, Soul Manipulation, Blood Constructs, Curse Spirits, and countless other abilities stop feeling like separate powers. They merge into one seamless combat style, where every movement naturally transitions into another technique. Opponents struggle to defeat him because although they recognize part of his technique, they're still clueless of Gojo's personal version of it, making him quite unpredictable. Gojo perfects every technique he's ever witnessed, proving that true Infinity was always about the endless potential to learn from every battle and leave it stronger than before. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into an alternate world, where Gojo has the power to steal other curse techniques. If you have any techniques in mind that Gojo could steal, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to watch more Jujutsu Kaisen videos, click on the link on your screen. Go ahead, click it.